Ever wondered what it was like back in the day when people rocked sandals and toga vibes? Picture this, massive rocks standing in circles, like Stonehenge in England, where folks probably gathered for some ancient version of a rock concert under the stars. Or check out Egypt, where they built Karnak Temple with giant Lego-like blocks and impressive columns taller than your grandpa. And don't get me started on Pompeii. Imagine walking through narrow streets and peeking into houses with wild wall art that would make your Instagram feed jealous. So, let's dive into the ancient neighborhood where people lived in mud brick houses or carved pads out of rocks. From aqueducts carrying water like ancient pipelines to funky cave paintings in France, ancient times were like a mix of MTV Cribs and a history-themed block party. Ready to explore? Let's time travel without the big words and explore the original features of well-known sites. The sky-high citadel of Machu Picchu. Perched almost 8,000 feet high in Peru's Urubamba River Valley, you'll find the remnants of the legendary Incan citadel of Machu Picchu. Back in 1911, when American explorer Hiram Bingham stumbled upon it, the citadel was far from its former glory. The Incans strategically perched it high up for defense, making it tough to attack, but also leading to its abandonment and overgrowth after a possible smallpox epidemic. With no cement or mortar used in construction, tree roots intertwined with the ruins, turning it into a jungle hideout. Bingham and his crew, however, took painstaking measures over 4 months to clear the foliage without causing damage. Once revealed, the sprawling site astonished the team, and subsequent excavations have brought out even more of its awe-inspiring features. Though it doesn't quite match its 15th century splendor, Machu Picchu boasted stone houses with thatched roofs, a farming zone, a sacred area, and a royal district where Incan ruler Pachacuti Inca Yupanqui held court. The fact that any of it still stands today, despite exposure to the elements, speaks volumes about the Incans' construction prowess. Perhaps there's a lesson or two about durability in those ancient stones for our more modern constructions. The Bronze Giant of Rhodes. In the ancient Greek city of Rhodes during the 3rd century BC, an imposing bronze statue dominated the harbour, a colossal depiction of the sun god Helios, towering at an impressive 105 feet. Known as the Colossus of Rhodes, it earned distinction as one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. However, this grandeur was short-lived, enduring only 54 years before a devastating earthquake in 226 BC brought it crashing down, shattering the colossal figure. Surprisingly, the ruins continued to draw visitors, retaining their allure for centuries. The story takes a more disheartening turn in 654 AD, when Arabian forces ransacked Rhodes. In a feat that seems almost surreal, they transported the fragmented pieces of the Colossus away on a caravan of 900 camels to be melted down and sold. Today, the site once occupied by this marvel stands desolate, devoid of the awe-inspiring statue. Contrary to popular belief, the iconic imagery of the Colossus straddling the harbour is a later invention. Crafted by medieval historians who never laid eyes on the original, this image is inaccurate. In reality, the harbour's width, equivalent to an American football field, would have required a statue reaching a staggering height of 1,640 feet for proportional accuracy, a feat inconceivable during that era. Even the Statue of Unity in India, currently the world's tallest statue at 597 feet, falls significantly short. Hence, a more plausible representation of the Colossus would be far less grandiose than the iconic portrayal, challenging our preconceived notions of its magnificence. A craziness in Italy. The eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD, recorded as one of the most captivating natural disasters in history, unfolded as an extraordinary event. The volcano's ash cloud descended upon the nearby city of Pompeii, instantaneously obliterating an entire community and encapsulating it in layers of ash. Remarkably, it took nearly 1,700 years for archaeologists to uncover this preserved ancient Roman city, and what they found left them astounded. The thick blanket of ash, paradoxically, served as a preservative, leaving the city frozen in time. Walls, buildings, paved streets, and even fragments of art stood remarkably intact, defying the ravages of time. This unexpected level of preservation has allowed modern observers to recognize much of the cityscape as it once was. However, this present glimpse starkly contrasts with the bustling metropolis that thrived for many years before the catastrophic eruption. In its heyday, Pompeii was a vibrant community, housing 12,000 people and boasting diverse amenities. The city featured an amphitheater, gymnasium, a bustling port, and an intricate water system. Temples dedicated to various Roman gods, including the Temple of Jupiter, added to the city's cultural and religious significance. Unfortunately, the Temple of Jupiter succumbed to an earthquake in 62 AD, leaving only remnants behind. Nevertheless, Pompeii remains a fascinating destination, offering a tangible link to the past. While the city's current state is a testament to the destructive force of Mount Vesuvius, it also serves as an awe-inspiring testament to the resilience of ancient structures and the ability of archaeological endeavors to unveil the secrets of forgotten civilizations. Brave visitors willing to be in proximity to Mount Vesuvius can witness firsthand the juxtaposition of destruction and preservation in this ancient archaeological marvel. The original wall. If you've ever watched Game of Thrones, the colossal icy structure known as the Wall might sound familiar. Surprisingly, it finds its real-world counterpart in the ruins of Hadrian's Wall, stretching an impressive 73 miles across the north of England from coast to coast. Emperor Hadrian commissioned its construction in 122 AD to demarcate the Roman Empire in Britain from northern barbarian threats, mirroring the fictional narrative of protecting the realm from dangers beyond. Unlike the icy behemoth in Game of Thrones, Hadrian's Wall was a formidable stone structure, not quite matching the towering height of the fantasy wall created by George R.R. Martin. However, during its prime, this monumental barricade stood nearly 20 feet tall in some sections, imposing and awe-inspiring. Hadrian's Wall wasn't just a static barrier, it incorporated 80 forts known as mile castles along its length, along with 17 larger forts and numerous observation towers. This comprehensive defense system aimed to ensure that no potential threat could pass through its formidable defenses. As the Roman era came to a close in the 5th century, Hadrian's Wall fell into neglect and disrepair. The departure of the Romans marked the beginning of its decline, with people dismantling parts of the wall to repurpose the stones for construction projects such as churches, farms, and houses. Although the pillaging of Hadrian's Wall ceased by the 19th century, the irreversible damage had already been inflicted. The once towering mile castles now exist as mere waist-high fragments of stone, a stark contrast to their former grandeur. Unlike the fantasy scenario of White Walkers in Game of Thrones, the real-world fate of Hadrian's Wall is a testament to the impact of time and human activity on ancient structures, leaving behind a fragmented but historically rich reminder of a finished era. Nero's plunge to zero. Certainly the emperors of ancient Rome weren't known for their modesty, and Emperor Nero took extravagance to unprecedented levels. Assuming the throne in 54 AD, Nero initiated the construction of an immense palace complex in the heart of Rome, making his predecessors look downright saintly in comparison. Known as the Domus Aurea, or Golden House, Nero's opulent residence sprawled over nearly half a square mile, roughly 3 times the size of Vatican City. Crafted from stone and marble between 64 and 68 AD, this grandiose palace boasted 150 rooms both above and below ground, featuring a colossal pool and an imposing 100-foot statue of the emperor himself. What set it apart, however, was the lavish decoration adorning every room, where gold, precious stones, shells and pearls covered surfaces from floor to ceiling. The pièce de résistance within the Golden House was the octagonal hall, an extravagant banquet chamber surrounded by 5 dining rooms with waterfalls cascading down the walls. This remarkable space, adorned with flower petals and perfume dispensing mechanisms, held an even more astonishing feature. It rotated continuously. Powered ingeniously by water, the octagonal hall provided a surreal experience, with petals falling as the room revolved day and night. Despite the flamboyance of Nero's palace, his unpopularity led his successors to systematically dismantle and repurpose the opulent structure. Stripping it of materials and riches, they filled in most of its underground rooms to construct new edifices, distancing themselves from Nero's legacy. While the palace complex may not retain its former grandeur, the octagonal hall, a testament to Nero's excessive tastes, was excavated and remains recognizable today, albeit lacking its original ornate embellishments. The Domus Aurea stands as a reminder of the narcissistic extravagance of Emperor Nero and the subsequent efforts to erase his imprint on Rome's architectural landscape. A looted Parthenon. Beyond the realm of ancient Rome, opulence found a significant place in the ancient Greek Empire, especially during the pinnacle between 447 and 432 BC, when the iconic Parthenon graced Athens' religious citadel, the Acropolis. The Parthenon, covering an expansive 23,000 square feet, was supported by 65 marble columns, adorned with vividly painted friezes. Its most remarkable feature was an awe-inspiring 39-foot-tall gold and ivory statue of Athena, the Greek goddess of wisdom and war, positioned within the temple. Unfortunately, by the 5th century AD, this splendid statue had vanished, and the circumstances surrounding its disappearance remain uncertain. Some speculate it fell victim to looting by Christian Byzantines, the East Roman Empire that later conquered Greece in the 6th century AD. Upon their conquest of Athens, the Byzantines repurposed the Parthenon into a Catholic church, subjecting it to significant alterations and destruction of carved friezes. This ecclesiastical transformation endured until 1458 AD, when the Muslim Ottoman Empire claimed control of the Greek capital, subsequently converting the revered structure into a mosque. However, a few hundred years later, Christian forces launched an attack, bombarding the Parthenon with cannonballs. The situation worsened due to the Ottomans storing volatile ammunition inside the temple. The cannonballs struck the stored ammunition, triggering a powerful explosion that ravaged the building, causing extensive structural damage. In the 19th century, British Earl Thomas Bruce added another chapter to the Parthenon's turbulent history by pilfering remaining marble friezes and sculptures during his visit, relocating them to London. As a result of this tumultuous past, the Parthenon stands today far from its former glamorous state. Despite the hardships it endured over 2,454 years, the Parthenon retains a captivating allure, a testament to the resilience and enduring fascination with ancient marvels. The beauty behind Chichen Itza. For an exceptional dose of sunshine coupled with a mesmerizing encounter with some of the world's best-preserved ancient pyramids, look no further than Chichen Itza in Mexico's Yucatan state. This Mayan city, boasting a rich history spanning over 1,500 years, may be uninhabited today, but at its zenith, it accommodated a thriving community of 35,000 residents. Encompassing a vast 4 square miles, the site comprises an impressive array of 26 ruins waiting to be explored. Among these, El Castillo emerges as the most renowned. This imposing temple towers nearly 80 feet above the main plaza, featuring 91 steps on each of its 4 sides, totaling 365, including the upper platform. The significance of this number is not coincidental. It aligns precisely with the solar year, likely intertwined with the rituals conducted at its summit. Intriguingly, El Castillo was constructed directly above a cenote, a water-filled sinkhole. At its pinnacle, the pyramid houses a profound pit leading down to the cenote. In times of drought, it is believed that the ancient Mayans, in a peculiar ritual, selected an unfortunate individual to be thrown into the pit as a sacrifice, anticipating that this act would bring forth rain. Despite the elaborate nature of such ceremonies, it appears that the effectiveness was limited. By the 15th century, the city lay abandoned, a likely consequence of environmental challenges, particularly drought. Abandoned and engulfed by the encroaching jungle, El Castillo became nearly indiscernible when the decision to excavate the site was made in the early 1900s. A decade of dedicated effort ensued, involving meticulous clearing and restoration work, gradually unveiling the pyramid in its full splendor. Today, El Castillo stands as a testament to Mayan architectural prowess and spiritual practices, drawing visitors from around the globe to marvel at its ancient grandeur. The revival of this archaeological gem has transformed it into a popular tourist attraction, providing a captivating glimpse into the mysteries of Chichen Itza's storied past. The Old Sarum is really old. Old Sarum, an Iron Age hill fort with origins dating back to 400 BC, unfolds a historical narrative marked by transitions and transformations. Initially constructed and inhabited by indigenous British tribes around 400 BC, the fort witnessed a significant shift in 43 AD, when Romans, following their conquest of Britain, took control. As the Roman influence waned and they withdrew from Britain around 400 AD, the Anglo-Saxons assumed occupancy, contributing to the site's historical continuum until the pivotal Norman conquest in 1066. The Normans, leaving an indelible mark, introduced substantial modifications to the ancient fort. They erected the motte, an elevated mound at the center supporting a castle, encircled by an expansive courtyard known as a bailey. Within this fortified space, the Normans erected a cathedral, shaping the site into a thriving borough. Around the year 1100, Old Sarum reached its zenith, evolving into a bustling borough renowned for its literate clerks who resided within the cathedral. However, escalating tensions between the castle's military occupants and the clergy led to a remarkable event: the relocation of the cathedral a few miles south to Salisbury in 1220. This unprecedented move stands as a testament to the intensity of the conflict that prompted the relocation of an entire cathedral. Following this event, the site witnessed a rapid decline in royal interest and population, culminating in the loss of borough status in 1832 and eventual abandonment. The extensive use of timber in constructing the buildings hastened their decay, erasing many structures from the annals of time. Today, only remnants persist, offering subtle clues to the once significant settlement that occupied Old Sarum, a place where the currents of history shaped and reshaped the landscape across centuries. The transient nature of Old Sarum's prominence reflects the ebb and flow of civilizations and the impermanence of human endeavors. The Great Pyramid of Giza. The Great Pyramid of Giza, the eldest among the 7 wonders of the ancient world, stands as an enduring marvel, a testament to the ingenuity of ancient Egyptian civilization. Originally constructed approximately 4,500 years ago as a monumental tomb for Pharaoh Khufu, it has evolved into one of the most sought-after tourist destinations globally. Contrary to its current rugged appearance, the Great Pyramid had an initial smooth and lustrous exterior. To achieve this, the Egyptians ingeniously applied a layer of limestone to the original step-like structure, meticulously polishing it to create a radiant white gleam in the sunlight. The crowning touch involved adorning the pyramid's apex with gold, rendering the ancient structure far more flamboyant than its present state suggests. The staggering scale of the Great Pyramid becomes evident when considering its construction materials: an astounding 9,000 tons of granite, over 550,000 tons of mortar, and a colossal 6 million tons of limestone. The question that naturally arises is, how did the ancient Egyptians manage to build such a monumental structure? The answer lies in the meticulous process carried out by workers who traveled southeast of Giza to the Tura quarries located on the opposite side of the Nile. Here, they strategically inserted lines of wooden wedges into the stone, subsequently saturating it with water. As the wedges absorbed the water and expanded, the rock would crack into manageable blocks. Once quarried, these blocks embarked on a journey across the Nile and were then dragged on sleds to the pyramid's construction site. However, the challenges didn't end there. Implementing a sophisticated system of ramps and pulleys, the heavy blocks had to be laboriously hoisted to the summit of the pyramid, where they underwent final shaping and smoothing. Regrettably, despite the tremendous effort invested in its construction, scant evidence of the pyramid's grandeur remains today. Over millennia, various civilizations stripped away the white limestone and the golden-capped pinnacle for repurposing in other construction projects. The enduring mystery of the Great Pyramid not only lies in its construction methods, but also in the gradual erasure of its original splendor over the course of history. The Tak attack. To the northeast of Egypt lies Iraq, once part of the expansive region known as Persia. Approximately 22 miles southeast of Baghdad, Iraq's capital, an intriguing ancient ruin emerges from the ground. An archway that stands as the sole remnant of what was once the grand and opulent city of Ctesiphon. Established in the 2nd century BC by King Mithridates I, Ctesiphon flourished as the pinnacle of the Persian Empire for nearly 800 years. While much remains shrouded in mystery about the city, historical accounts reveal the presence of an extravagant palace adorned with marble, glass mosaics, and jewel-studded carpets. The very palace that included the now battered arch known as Tak Khazra. Even today, Tak Khazra remains the world's largest single-span arch, a testament to the city's former grandeur. So, what led to its decline? The immense wealth of Ctesiphon made it a prominent target, enduring 3 successful Roman invasions between 116 and 198 AD. Despite being sacked, the city withstood the assaults and continued as the heart of Persian culture for another 4 centuries. However, a pivotal turning point occurred in 637 AD when Muslim Arab forces emerged outside the city, engaging in a decisive battle against Persia, which they triumphantly won. Following their victory, the Arab forces entered Ctesiphon, seizing and looting its treasures. Fortunately, the city's inhabitants had already evacuated, leaving everything else vulnerable, including the very structures that comprised the city. Notably, the buildings were dismantled and transported to construct what would eventually become Baghdad. Remarkably, Tak Khazra stood resilient, untouched by the pillaging forces, earning a reputation for being unconquerable. an enduring symbol of a bygone era that resisted the forces of time and conquest. The Colosseum. Almost everyone enjoys an evening of live entertainment at the theatre, a sentiment that held true even in ancient Rome, albeit with a twist. Brutal fights to the death were part of the spectacle. The epicenter of this bloodthirsty entertainment was the Roman Colosseum, the most colossal and iconic amphitheatre in history. Emperor Vespasian commissioned the construction of the Colosseum around 70 AD as a gift to the people, and his son Titus inaugurated it a decade later in 80 AD. With towering walls reaching 157 feet, 80 entrances, and a staggering capacity of up to 87,000 attendees, the behemoth structure quickly became a triumph. The Colosseum welcomed spectators from all social strata, offering varied perspectives on the gruesome events unfolding within. The front row seats at the bottom were reserved for the elite, while those of lower social classes sat progressively farther back, extending to the poor, slaves, and women at the rear. This inclusive approach contributed to the Colosseum's flourishing existence over 4 centuries. However, shifting tastes and the decline of the Western Roman Empire marked the beginning of neglect for the Colosseum after the 6th century AD. Over time, sections of the structure were systematically removed for repurposing, and earthquakes added to the decay. Today, only 1/3 of the original Colosseum stands, and the stage that once hosted awe-inspiring events lies in ruins. Despite its diminished state, the architectural allure of the Colosseum remains as potent as ever, echoing the grandeur of a passing era that captivates the imagination despite the ravages of time. The Tikal, touched by time. Deep within the Guatemalan rainforest lies a collection of enigmatic structures, starkly contrasting with the natural surroundings, the remnants of the city of Tikal, once a dominant kingdom in ancient Mayan civilization. Encompassing an expansive 17,000 square feet, Tikal Temple II stands out as the most remarkable among these structures. This temple was erected as a mausoleum for Lady Kalajun Unan Mo, the wife of a Mayan king who ruled between 682 and 734 AD. Rising to a height of 125 feet, it pierces the forest canopy, but in the 8th century, its stature would have reached around 138 feet. While the temple has impressively withstood the test of time, it once boasted a more vibrant appearance. The Mayans, known for their affinity for red, utilized this striking color even in their cocoa. However, the vivid color scheme isn't the sole feature that has faded over the centuries. The temples at Tikal were originally adorned with intricately carved designs. Although some have endured, such as the mask depicted in the image below, regrettably, many have succumbed to the erosion of time. Nevertheless, the site remains a captivating destination, preserving a glimpse into the ancient Mayan civilization and the architectural wonders that defined its legacy. A mound filled with mystery. In the northern part of Ireland lies a mystical stretch of land, steeped in history, myth and legend, boasting a remarkable 240 archaeological sites across its 2.5 square mile expanse. This mystical land is Rathcrogan, where the inaugural Halloween festivals were held in the 9th century. Amidst various ancient sites, including a reputedly eerie cave leading to hell, Rathcrogan may appear as a grass-covered mound. While it may not resemble a literal gateway to hell, this seemingly innocuous mound conceals more secrets than meet the eye. Spanning 300 feet in diameter and standing at a height of 20 feet, it commands a prominent position in the landscape, signifying its significant historical importance. So, what could this mound have been? Approximately 1,500 years ago, it bore a resemblance to a massive fort, but it differed significantly from the hill forts like Old Sarum seen today. This mound wasn't a fort. Rathcrogan's mound served as a colossal ceremonial temple. Through specialized equipment scanning the earth, archaeologists have uncovered evidence suggesting the presence of wooden ramparts and ceremonial henges atop this hillock. The exact nature of the rituals held within this sacred hall remains elusive, but it is known that ancient Celtic pagans conducted practices here. As such, the temple likely hosted diverse activities. Seers may have stood within, prophesying the future, crowds might have gathered to present precious possessions to the gods, and, on exceedingly rare occasions, human sacrifices might have taken place. However, such insights are not apparent merely by observing it today. This underscores the adage, "Never judge a mound by its cover," revealing that appearances can indeed be deceiving when delving into the rich tapestry of Rathcrogan's history. The past holds much more than we could ever known. This ends today's video. If you learned something new, don't forget to like and subscribe for more discoveries in time.